Let's have a look. There we are. Hope that's okay now, my friends. Yeah, there we go. Hope you can hear me now. So, welcome to week 42 of 2025 already. Time is flying around. Obviously, monumental political news with the freeing of the all the live Israeli hostages held by Hamas this morning. 20 of them back in Israel. Some of them obviously looking very worse for wear. The release of up to hundreds, if not thousands, of Hamas or Palestinians held by Israel will now take place as well. Where we go from here, obviously, big questions. Neither side has got what they wanted ultimately, but pressure has been brought to bear on both sides, and we have a ceasefire at the moment. Palestinians going back to northern Gaza over the weekend, so see how all that pans out. Obviously, on Friday, I had my probably biggest losing day in, well, certainly for 2025, and probably for quite a few years on Friday, to be honest. I was out, I had my stop losses set, I was long all the US indexes. President Trump found out he wasn't getting the Nobel Peace Prize, and then a few hours later, he typed about stepping up the rhetoric and Trump and tariffs to 100% plus against China again, having already backed down, playing hardball. He doesn't need to see Xi, blah, blah, blah. He's since cooled that rhetoric over the weekend. But anyway, it took all my index trades out, and we had a bit of a hit on Friday. But I'll put the details up on the Discord group later when I've added them up, because there was some other forex trades which were winners early in the week, which I realised I hadn't updated. Some pound CAD still open, Aussie pound, sterling Aussie was at hit stop loss. DAX is still open actually. The DAX from late in last week didn't get down to its stop loss, so that's still open. But anyway, I'm just starting with this Reuters headline here. Say he's stepped back his rhetoric. He's obviously in addressing the Knesset in Israel this morning. Political news moving very, very quickly and rapidly. Still, with regard to China, there's still the talk that he may be meeting them, Xi and his people, at the APAC meeting, the Asian Pacific Association, the Economic Association for the Asia Pacific countries, at the end of the month, the 31st of October, 1st of November. So that's sort of penciled in. At the same time, there's lots of chatter. Obviously, we've got this major, into its third week now, government shutdown of the world's biggest economy. Both sides, both the Republicans and the Democrats, standing their ground, blaming each other. Obviously, the Republicans blaming Schumer and the Democrats, and the Democrats blaming the Republicans for trying to cut healthcare costs too rapidly. It could give Trump the excuse he needs to take an axe to the federal job headcount. That was threatened by J.D. Vance over the weekend. So all of that is sort of playing into Trump's hands from that point of view. Obviously political games go on, but I mean, he sort of obviously had a major coup with getting this ceasefire agreed and then in place. And in Egypt, as we're speaking here, we have 20 world leaders all coming to congratulate the president on that. So anyway, as I say, I started with this Reuters headline. Basically, we've got gold all-time highs. We've got silver all-time highs. Silver went to $52. It's not been up there or close to $52. Hasn't been there since 1980. Somebody was telling me this morning. Platinum also high. All the commodities have bid quite well. Certainly the precious metals, platinum, silver, gold, all moving very, very positively. The dollar's come back a wee bit, as it says here, this morning, following the sort of step back from Trump. Remember the taco trade? Trump always chickens out. He really didn't like that, but we've seen some taco headlines kicking around this morning, and we've seen a bounce in the stock market. And indeed, as we're trading in the opens, we're talking about, we're still 20 minutes away. We took a long position here with our Renko boxes, as we looked like we were going short again here. Nearly took a short here. I didn't actually open it, to be honest. we were looking at this range breaking out, and we've into it again, and we got long here. We got filled here at 24 or whatever it is down here. Where is it? Open position 24, 680. That's our entry. Our stop loss is down here at 24.59. So that's our entry. There's our stop loss. We got the 50 period moving average here on the Renko charts. That's still relevant to the price action. Remember, price action, Briss in horizontal wares on our charts. So and we only get a new box when there's a price movement, a significant. Oh, there we go. A significant price move up. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes higher. Looking at this move, looking at this, the way we've been moving, we may have run out of steam as we've got to 24,700. 24,700. Our pre-market high earlier took us to 24,750. So that's a possible target area. Our low from Friday's close was down here at 24,000. So we opened around 24,035. So we've rallied during the Asian session. We're over the 50 period here. Big leg up. Bit of a retrace. Quite a significant retrace here. This is why I was looking to this, potentially looking to go short. But, it's all in the price action. And again, where we've topped out at that next resistance again. So that run up maybe also, I might be looking to close that out. See how this retraces, and I might drag the stop loss up now. Actually, I've got you here. I'm going to drag the stop loss up around about the 50. It won't let me do it, will it? I can't. But I need to amend it here. But let's do that while we're here, and we'll come back to where we are. So if we drag this up to about, what's that? 24,620, 24. Bring it 620 as it's 20. There we are, 620, 24, 620. Delete. There we are. We changed that. So we dragged our stop loss up just below the 50 period moving average. We might lose some of these lines because TradeLocker doesn't like me anymore. I've got too many templates on. So there we are. So we're long from earlier. We'll see if this continues. We get to our pre-market high, and we'll see what happens. There we go. The reds disappeared, so we pulled our stop loss up. So anyway, let's see how that transpires later on. So as I said, it's really big political news this morning, moving the markets, and I think the global. I said the reason I started with the Reuters business headlines here, it sort of captured everything really nicely. Bank of America, another one caught my eye. Remember, the earnings season, the third quarter earnings season starts this week as well. I think it's as early as tomorrow. I normally have it checked. Yeah, 14th is always rings a bell. I think it's JP Morgan kicking it off tomorrow. So it's earnings season's off and running as we're into the third week of October for the banks. So JP Morgan and the other Citibank, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, all the big Wall Street banks will be reporting in the next week or so. But in the other headline here, Bank of America hikes gold price forecast for 2026 to $5,000 an ounce. So yeah, it's grabbing obviously headlines on that. So the bid on gold remains very much in play. So let's just run through some of the other situations. The other big mover over the weekend, which I'm sure you're all aware, was the big shakeout we saw for Bitcoin over the weekend. The hourly chart. So here we were at 126,000, weren't we? Just we get this time last week, wasn't it? It was it this time last week? Yeah, a week ago. 6. That we are 6. We got to new all-time highs, and we've just capitulated since, haven't we? If I actually, it's not clear to watch it on a time basis because of the way the Renko charts work. They're not really time-based in that sense, but it's price-based. But if we look at this here with our other setup, we look at the hourly chart here on the crypto on our Heikin Ashi candles. We see what a big shakeout we had over the weekend. We got a down day on Friday as the stock markets capitulated under Trump's tariff threat. there on the 10th. Big collapse. There's that last Monday high when we went to 126,000. So a massive shakeout on Friday, and then even more worries over the weekend on the crypto market. Obviously, low volumes, low participants. The big players aren't playing over the weekend, but we had some significant shakeout. And we went all the way down to test the $100,000 level, 101,800 we went down to. So we were into the $100,000 zone. Lots of people would have been shaken out and panicked out potentially. But obviously the trend still remains fairly constant. You see we're sort of meandering through here. You can see the 50-day moving average meandering through that key area I've been talking about for ages, 112,000, which is where we got that. I remember looking at this yesterday. There's the 112,000 level there. And you can see that that was a key level yesterday as we came to, as we came back. So there's that, my 112,000 level there. We talked about that for a while, haven't we? So there's 112,000 level. Came, tested, breached, bounced back through, and we're now back over that. We're 114,000. The 50-day moving average 115,000 now. So it's a major shakeout. And these volatile movements in crypto, these happen. They happen in the biggest of them all. Happen with Bitcoin. So you just got to be, if you're going to be in it, you're going to be trading this sort of asset. Expect this sort of hugely exaggerated volatility. So, however, technically we still remain bid, but this consolidation is getting wider. We got a bit of a widening funnel from what Trump was, because of what Trump was saying with regard to the tariff stuff. We just very quickly just do that. Where are we? Still 17 is completely time. So, trend line. You see this? So we got the rising top there, and we've got a rising. Sort of widening wedge there, so we could see added volatility. We could easily move down from that position or up from that position, depends on how all this pans out. But that was a major shakeout courtesy of the president last week. But we are, still consolidating. There's the 100,000 level here. Next sort of pivot, psychological round number pivot area. But huge movements in Bitcoin over the last week. Massive move. So all-time highs this time last week, all the way down to 101,000. So 20% collapse in the space of a week on Bitcoin, and it's done it before. It's not unusual. And as I've shared before, the 12th of October was a memorable day for Bitcoin fans. 2017, we first went through $5,000 for a Bitcoin. So if we screw this, we compress this chart all the way down here, 2017, we were all the way down here, $5,000. And that seemed absolutely monumental numbers back in 2017. So 8 years later, here we are, 125,000 and 26,000. So Bitcoin remains bid. We are actually under the 50-day moving average, but we've been meandering through it. So we do need to break away. We need to get to new highs and hold these new highs over 120,000. So we were struggling. As you can see here, there's 120,000 just there to get over that. So that's what we need to do next. You can see this big resistance here back in the summer at 120,000. So we need to move higher through that if this is going to move higher again. If the 100,000 breaks, this 112,000 pivot area breaks first, obviously, we could then easily move down quite quickly as well into this next zone here at 90,000 to the downside for crypto. But it's still looking relatively big as far as it's my evaluation of what I can see there. Oil markets continue to wither. Brent this morning is at 60, under 64. WTI of 59.60 at the moment. So we were down on Friday significantly after the worry over the impact on China, and another down day today, 59.57 at the moment. So as we've been saying for a while, the trend remains to the downside. We've broken out of this bottom of our channel that we'd been in at $62. and it's still looking quite weak until we find some floor, and the floor may come down here at $58. That's what I'm looking for, a potential floor, but that's quite a strong, just look at those Heikin Ashi candles, that's a strong trend down, a weak retrace, and then another strong trend down that started on Monday, so that would still be short. I was any open positions on the oil market, but that remains weak. Similar with the benchmark, the global benchmark, that is Brent. Bigger movements, obviously the numbers are bigger, but again, the channel for August, September has been breached. We're under 65. We couldn't get over 68. And we're down on Friday significantly. We went all the way to 62.50 on Friday. And we're currently at 63.70 on Brent. So again, like WTI, weak and moving lower. And again, support, next pivot support that we found at the beginning of May took us all the way down to $60. So 62 and then $60 for Brent to the downside. Forex, we'll look at the dollar. I say it's picked up a wee bit today from a bit of a shake on Friday. Obviously, the nuances has lost a wee bit in with the Heikin Ashi candles, but again, but what it does do though, it takes out all that volatility and fuss of Friday, and it still plotted a green candle for Friday. Big update on Thursday, as we mentioned here, for the Swissy through the 50-day moving average, and a positive day for Swissy on Friday, and we're positive again today. So this, I've drawn these trend lines, but they've dropped off. So the dollar is back up, back to 152 against the Japanese yen. That's holding up. Dollar moving to new highs, as we said earlier. Dollar CAD holding over that 140. So we were long this. We've still got 1.5 positions open on the dollar CAD to the upside, despite the volatility on Friday. We didn't get stopped out, and that's still holding. I think that's still open. I'm saying we didn't get stopped out. I'm pretty sure it didn't get stopped out. Yeah, it's still open, dollar CAD. So we're 1.5 positions there. Our target is 140.50. So we're looking for here. Looks potential a bit of a stretch, but we'll see how we start the rest of this week. But we are still long dollar CAD to the upside. Euro 117 seems a long way away now, and we're under 116, and under 116 quite significantly. Strong week for the dollar last week against the euro. Big move down on Thursday and Friday, a bit more of a muted move on Friday, ironically, but we're down again today. So 115.60 is where we sit at the moment. It's a bit of a nasty spread on the euro there. It's the daily time frame, but even so, that can't be right, surely. That's more like it, my friend. 1 hour. There we are. That's more like it. Down we go. So it's again, I say the dollar's very much on the front foot this morning against the weaker euro. So next support here is 115.55 to the downside. We're at 115.68 at the moment. So potentially some more move. There's no real, there's absolutely no data today to move things particularly for the rest of the day. You can see there's nothing coming out. That none of these will be reported at Treasury Secretary Paulson. Treasury Secretary Paulson speaks. What's that? Excuse me. Okay. Interesting. Paulson. Yeah, I was thinking of Paulson. So yeah, there's not a lot's going to move the markets there, unless there's a surprise from somebody from the German central bank or something from Mr. Mann from the Bank of England. There's nothing really going to move things. Interesting to see what the retail sales are like from the UK later on. Quite a surprise spike last month, up to 2.89%. So actually, the OPEC report wasn't of any surprise. It obviously been leaked as it is as is their want. So euro continuing to the downside. So we're at 25. Let's just go back to our indexes. Actually just finish up the Forexes. Dollar moved all the way down. So the Aussie dollar moved all the way down to 64.66 on Friday. It's recovered in the Asian session. European session, we got to 65.25. So we've recovered 65 and we're at 65.10 at the moment. So .65 is our new real support area for the Aussie to the downside. Sterling 133.38, so it's given 135 away last week. We got back to 133.50 this morning, and then it's cooled again. So 133.35 is where sterling trades at the moment under this hourly 50 period moving average, and the low on Friday took us to 132.60. 132.60, and there's a bit of congestion through there. 132, 133, so that's the 133 level. So 133 is where the major buyers were on on Friday and again this morning, and we trade at 133.35 at the moment, so 35 pips to the 133 level where buyers are, but we can't breach 133.50 zone this morning today going forward. You see that through there. There's a 50-hour flat as a pancake at 133.40. So yeah, dollars up and on the front foot. And as we started the top of the shop, all-time highs yet again for the mighty gold market. Don't bet against this, my friends. $4,000 being taken out. $4,091 is where you would pay now here with us. So that's obviously that note from the Bank of America giving bulls, excuse me, late lunch, excuse me, reasons to proffer. So despite the, as you might you'd have thought, safe haven asset might have weakened with this big ceasefire deal. Again, the devil is, as ever, is always in the detail. As the bombing stopped, the Palestinians will certainly hope so, but Hamas haven't gone away. And they're not and they haven't put their arms down. So we'll see where we go from here. So $4,091, $4,085. We got a $6 spread there on gold at the moment. It's a pretty hefty one, but that's given the bid. That's the nature of the market, buyers and sellers. So we are certainly buyers there from Friday's close. Big strong candle there on that 8 o'clock candle there. See how we changed from indecision, big wickless to the north south, as we know, breaking through the 50 period moving average here. It's on that 8 o'clock candle on Friday night, and it's just rallied into close on Friday and then rallied through the Asian session this morning, and off we go back over $4,000 at 4,000, and off we go. Bid. So if you're long this today, well done. Bag your profits and keep your stop loss nice and tight, and don't give too much back. We are moving up, but again, currently that current hourly candle, which is still half an hour before completion, is looking fairly robust. No wick to the south at the moment, and certainly wick to the north. We're rejecting. Are we going to get to 4,100? Maybe a bit too optimistic, but we'll see. Right, let's have a flip back to the stock markets in the United States. So we'll just run through them all. So NASDAQ, we were a long way. I don't know if our stop losses, one of our stop losses being taken out. No, it's not being taken out because of the hourly chart. Let's go back to our the Renko chart, which is the ones we were using to trade on these short-term 5-minute time frames. So there we go. We've rallied again. So I can't remember when we bought this. Did we buy this? Oh, we bought it here, didn't we? And it's coming down. So our stop loss is here. So that, as we said, that leg might have ran out of steam. So we've got 1, 2. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes up, and now we've got the third box down. So if this breaches there, we'll probably get stopped out, and that move up hasn't happened. We've lost all the box I put on. Let me just put that rectangle, and that's what we were looking at pre-market. This zone here through the 50 period, and we were still in there. So we bought at the the top of that, and it hasn't moved any higher, has it? So this is now where we bought here is obviously we were looking for this to move up and test the pre-market high, but that is obviously is now as we go into literally live trading, a bit of a resistance area to the upside. So we're still long. The stock markets are just going live, so we could get stopped out quite quickly in the volatility of the open. Remember, Renko boxes plot on price change, so it's not really time dependent as such, and it's how you set up your Renko counter here. What the on TradingView and on Trade Locker, the Renko boxes. If I just open this for settings, default to the ATR, and I like the ATR. I'm a big fan of the ATR. So they use the box side of the ATR. Remember what the ATR is? The average true range. So it's the actual real movement of the price, and so it captures all the volatility of gaps and the volatility of spikes in market, particularly in sort of opening and time. So it's a great way to send it. The ATR default setting, if I just push that back a bit, is actually 14 when you bring in, if you just put Renko charts on your TradingView or your Trade Locker platform. So I've just changed it to, I just changed it back to 10 this morning when I was playing with it again. So I would leave it at 14. It's not that much of a difference, to be honest, and use the default as the precision setting as well. So ATR is the box size assignment, and that's the key thing when you're setting up your Renko charts. Green is up, red is down, and it's still it doesn't really want to move, does it, price wise? As I say, there's only a new box plotted once we've moved more than the 10 period ATR, either up or down, and we're moving down. Looks like we may be getting stopped out of that on the opening trade. So that's our pre-market high, and that's our bit of our resistance as the this is really the European opens 8 o'clock this morning. So Europe is open. Here we had the US market coming in about 12 o'clock my time, and then the last rally high here just half an hour before there, it's taken out on that. So that didn't work out, but that again we could this could then escalate lower, having had the sort of the pre-market futures moving up. So that hasn't worked out this time. Let's see how that pans out. I'd like to see that below here, certainly here, and then just flip to the other setup. I don't want to make a so this is a 5. This is our 5 minute time frame. If we open the other layout, open the ATR in the 50 period. So there's the volatility of the opening wick. So that's negative. So that there. Oh, so it's the daily time. Let's go back to 5 minutes. So again, there's the move higher, the pre-market high, where we went to that 24,000 level here, and then this is very negative. So the Heiken Ashi trader would have been short there and taken out, gone long there and then been taken out, but then gone short on this one here at 14.25 and adding short on the completion of this candle as well. But again, at the Morose lows, this is an example of how the price action, the actual price you would pay, whether you're going long or short, can differentiate when you have with Heiken Ashi candles. It looks very different to where the candle is. See what's happened there? It's plotted straight away. So we would have gone short and got filled on this candle there. So it's plotted that new candle. So we've gone. That would have triggered. You could have gone short during that candle, but certainly short during this one. And again, this might turn around because we're literally 5 minutes in. So we are moving lower in this first opening salvo. That was a stop loss that we've taken out from Friday, so that's not relevant. So if we go back to our Renko box, we would have seen a significant, or we should have seen, yeah, we are, a significant move lower as well. So we now got 1, 2, 3 into the 50 period, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a developing into a significant leg to the downside. So again, that one it's breached below here, so that could have been. So that was our support zone. Remember our resistance zone here, which is what it's phased out. We got caught. We went long. It hasn't worked out. Here we breached the 50, and we're further away from the 50 we were. So that would have been enough to take a short roundabout on this box forming here about 5 minutes ago, and you would have got filled a little bit above where we are around about the bottom of that box, weren't we? 24,460. So that's a moving low potential. So let's just take that position. But again, we want to take a sell, and we'll put our stop loss back at the our resistance area here, 24,650. 24,650. 5 to start off with. And see if that continues to move lower. So we've breached our level here. We've got 3 boxes below the 50, and we'll drag the stop loss down if this unwind continues. But remember, this was the low from Friday. It's been relative positive reaction to the cooling of what Trump's had to say since his knee-jerk announcement on Friday. So let's just see why that one unwind. Excuse me. Dow will be similar. Interesting. There we are. Dow doing in the opposite of so that was a leg up. So that's that would have been more of a more positive buy here round about on the open there. So that's long, and that's long. That could be testing higher. So I'm happy to actually buy that one. Oh, I didn't. So cancel that. So that's moving up. So we got a divergence between the two of the major. So stop loss would be 45.80, 45.870. Obviously, guys, I'm just doing this as a demonstration purpose. These don't follow what I'm doing, right? Take this as confirmation, but it's just trading the strategy. Obviously, I've defaulted the lot size as fixed as 0.001. So if I was doing this with my own real money, I'd make sure that this distance as ever was only 2% maximum. I smile Riley because they were a little bit higher than that for the indexes, and I got hit quite significantly, 6-7% hit on Friday. But anyway, so we go. So we've gone long there on this run, but again, this run we might have got into that a little bit too late. But we've got our stop loss around about the 50 as that's moving up. And what's the S&P doing? So the S&P is less move, but as I say, my preferred short-term trade in indexes are the Dow and the DAX, but we were just using the Nasdaq as well this morning. So as that continue to move lower, sort of not particularly with any venom. There's a lot of fresh air below here, so. Where could we go to? 24. So 24,560. We're at 24,587. So there's a bit of an area there. 24,500 really is the next pivot area, and the next up box here on that major leg before we broke was there at 24,540. So that could be where we might take some profit off the table. If we get into this zone. Remember, we weren't filled until here on that one because we got in a bit late on the breach of that. Just flip back to the Dow. The Dow continued to move out. No, the Dow's turned around. There we go. The Dow's now back in unison with the Nasdaq and the S&P down as well. S&P's negative as well. Yeah. So we started relatively positively for the first 5 minutes or so, 10, and we've sort of turning around now on the open there. So I'll just go back to different I-50 on there with the so that's there we are. There's that Nasdaq. Oh, sorry, it's the S&P, wasn't it? It's Nasdaq. That's that big negative one. That's where we got in, didn't we? At the bottom of this candle was around about here before we would have been filled on that. But that's still, negative, more negative there. It's not the ATR. The Heiken Ash candles are telling us to the downside. Okay. So down we go. So the long on the Dow is just a delayed reaction. That's not working out either. So we're not having a good US Open here. We're actually losing. We haven't lost for a while, have we, in these opening trades? So there we go. We seem to have caught the top again of this leg. But there we go. See how that pans out. See if this holds. But again, we might be looking to puncture the 50, puncture the 50, and then move back up because obviously we had this major leg down here, and the retrace is less than just over 50% of that last leg down here. So we'll see. Remember, we're just looking at this purely down at these 5-minute charts. So we take it up to the higher time frames. We got a different feel. There's a strong out on the hourly time frame, long strong rally into the 50 period moving out, and then it's gone short since 12 o'clock is what that's telling us. That box has turned up. So here we were still going higher for in the morning trades from 8 o'clock, and it took till 12 o'clock before we turned around, and we moved sufficiently down to change the box to a red one from a green one. Since then, it's sort of flipping back up on the hourly time frame, that Dow chart. So see what comes of things. So where's our 5-minute time frame, which is what we were looking at there, chopping and changing. So so the Dow has turned around quite significantly immediately. So that down leg indeed has been bought, and we're suddenly flipped into profit. We were down here, remember, and it's turned around. So there's been a pitch in the Dow. The Nasdaq, so look, has also turned around. So we're out the money on the Nasdaq, but in the money marginally on the Dow. So we caught that. It looks like we might have caught that at the bottom. So so we've sort of caught that the wrong way around again. So the range we've identified is still in play. But we've just positioned us. We got the floor is actually holding. So let me see if I can put that in. So that low here sort of held again, isn't it? And the top, which is the top of which was here, is also holding up. So we're in that channel still. The channel's got a bit wider. So remember, that was our box. We were talking about pre-market, was a bit tighter there, wasn't it? We burst out of it, looked like we were going, didn't happen. Burst under it, didn't happen. So we've caught that completely wrong. That's trading for you, remember. And our pre-market high is still in place at 24,750. Obviously, our low from the opening trades is all the way down there at 24,000. So what's that? Is that where I was? Oh, that's where I bought. It was bought here, so it's not interesting. It's not plotting that. So we filled here, but the box is not plotting that. So interesting dynamic on that one. So the downside. So that's the Nasdaq moving lower, and the Dow run out of steam at at 45,900 position close. What is the position that closed? That hit the stop. Oh, I pulled the stop loss up, didn't I? Yeah, so that one's out. So we've had a loser on that as well. So never mind. That is trading. Nasdaq is also running short at the moment. So we've got a very sort of indecisive, choppy open. Not surprisingly, given what happened on Friday. Given back some of the moves to the upside. Let's just go back to the Heiken-Ashi candle layout. So there's been a bit of a buy back here on the Nasdaq as we've got into the 24,600 zone. In the last in this first 15 minutes of the trading days is over. So look, for today, I say there's no. We got perhaps they are coming out because the consumer board. No, it's a federal agency, so that's won't be coming out this afternoon. So we are. Let's have a look at gold's changes movement. So there's so on the open we got to 4,093. So we were another dollar ahead of where we were before we were here, weren't we? 4,090. So we got to 4,093 on the gold market. So again, see, even on the 5-minute chart, it's still very, very much a bid market. So guys, if there's no questions or no assets you want me to have a look at, I will wrap this up for Monday. So in summary, the big news from Friday is still running through. Gold's at these all-time highs, silver all-time highs, platinum also very, very, very well bid. The dollar's come back somewhat from a bit of a hit. It's still remaining relatively well supported, despite the threat to tariffs, but and the government entering its third week of shutdown in the United States. 15th, the middle of the week, Wednesday, is when the military are supposed to receive, and many other federal employees are supposed to receive their earnings. JD Vance was very clear that made sure that the Army will get paid, the Air Force and the Navy personnel, all the military personnel will get paid this month. So, yeah, all to play for. And the situation with China has been a bit of a buyback from Trump, but Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, he's been quite robust again this morning. It might have been late last night, Sunday, but again this morning, saying that they expect support from the Europeans and also India, interestingly, in their fight with China. Sort of the words he used, but then he also said, we're prepared to speak and meet and move forward with our discussions. But there's a bit of cooling in that relationship. Obviously, with the from a political momentum point of view, from Trump's sort of cachet, all the attention now will start focusing back on Putin and the situation in Ukraine, and pressure being cranked up there as well. And he's continuing to talk positively, Trump this is, about letting the Ukrainians have these long-range Tomahawk missiles, which obviously could move further into mainland Russia. So that and Putin's pushed back on that, and his advisors have pushed back on that about that would crank things up yet again. So it's all rhetoric, it's all talk at the moment, swirling. But if Trump feels like the situation in Gaza has been sort of put to bed for now, at least, that's where he starts moving the narrative further. Obviously, there's a deal to be done in all of these situations, and China, India situation with Russia, the rare earth issue with China also swirling around. So, and he's playing hardball with politics at home. So, all to play for as ever. So take care, everyone. We've had a unsuccessful for about time we had a not about time, but unsuccessful trade in the open today. Nasdaq, we were has this been stopped out as well? Is it still open? Maybe it's been stopped out, isn't it? Yeah, it's been stopped out as well. So let's have a quick. What happened this afternoon? It's not updating. There we are. So we've had a loser on the Nasdaq, a loser on the Dow, a loser on the Nasdaq, and a winner on the debt. But that wasn't today, was it? No, that was on Thursday. So 3 losing trades today. $3, $4.60. So not the amount, but the process didn't work. But there we go. There's that choppiness you can see there on these short-term Nasdaq moves. So the Dow is my preferred one, but again, even choppy here. The spread there, that's not great, is it? So anyway, so take care, everyone, and we will see you again tomorrow. We're going to be live for the European Open tomorrow, DAX, and see how we do with the DAX. Let's hope it's better than the Nasdaq and the Dow today. Okay, take care, everyone. See you soon. All the best. Be good. Bye-bye.